Thank Hashem for the protection. My son came home, and now we have the merit not just to fly through this holy Kabbalah, Panemius Torah from Rebbe Nachman by myself, but there was a few people actually sitting around me. Maybe they listened a little bit. But now we're going to go with the holy Ari himself, Arizal. Arizal? No, you the Arizal?
Aryeh.
Aryeh. Okay, the Ari. We're going to be with the Ari, and we're going to learn, hopefully help having the merit of someone sitting with us to understand these deep words from Rebbe Nachman.
Amen.
So, we are holding by Torah Lamed Daled. I'm just going to add this on to yesterday's session because it was intense. And he was talking about this deep concept, Panemius, the idea of Shreya Kelim. You ever heard of it? Shreya Kelim is the shattering of the vessels. It's a Kabbalistic concept. It's hinted to in Parshas Vayishlach. Do you want me to do a little intro to the concept?
Sure.
It's important to know that it exists, even if we can't do it justice right now. I'd recommend learning Inner Space by Aryeh Kaplan about shattering vessels. It's a deep way of explaining it. I learned the Ramchal a little bit about it, and I was learning the Ramchal with Choshev Chuvasa and Beitar. And, Tzaddikim talk about it, they mention it, or you can learn the Likutei, YITZCHAK, this Kabbalah, Panemius Torah. The concept of Kitzah is that when you have a vessel and you have light, there has to be a big enough vessel to hold all the light. If the light's too great, the vessel breaks, shatters. Now what happened was, at the beginning of creation, Hashem made these worlds, they call them Kadmon, or connected to the worlds of Tov, Olam HaTov. They made these world chaos, they made these worlds which had a lot of light, and the Kalim weren't able to share together, so they got overwhelmed by the Ribu Or, by the abundant light, and they shattered, and those Kalim fell down to lower places, those vessels. You had this concept of gathering sparks, gathering, nitzos from that original shattering, and this concept of the light went down into certain worlds and places in those worlds, in the higher worlds, and the vessels went even further down. And then Hashem gave us, the Torah, gave us Tzaddikim, gave us the Olam HaTikkun, and gave us the ability, the Kav, this concept of be able to sort of pick up those sparks and to return the ore back to its shorish, to its root. And the Tzaddikim, by connecting to the Tzaddick, that gives us the ability to return the light backwards, or back up, not backwards, back up to the higher places that it was rooted in, and to have kalim that are sharing light, vessels that are sharing light, and therefore there won't need to be this abundant, this shattering. The spheres Elionim are able to connect to each other. The higher ways of Hashem emanating His divine source doesn't overwhelm the vessels. They're able to expand and share and grow and be able to hold that light. And that's a lot to do with connecting to the Tzaddick, who's connected to the Ratzon Hashem, to the will of God, and allows the vessels to expand and to contain the light. Now, this is something all of us struggle with. We sometimes get too much light in our life, like spiritually. It's happened to me. I don't know if it's happened to you as much because you were in America a long time, but when I was here for many, many years by Tzaddikim Gedolim, and I was davening on high levels with high level people, I had what's called Shreya Kelim and Ruchnius, where I was just too overwhelmed by their avoda that it was too much light, and therefore things in my life were starting to break, like Shalom Bayis and Hinuch and Panasa. The more practical stuff were not coping with the amount of spiritual light that I was absorbing by being with holy people. So then you have to build bigger vessels. So then people can happen on a gashmis level where you overdo it. Too much drinking, too much gambling, too much drugs, too much physicality, and you have a Shreya Kelim, you break. He said what Rebbe Nachman did was very deep. He connected this Shreya to a breaking of the heart, and he connected it to the breaking of the luchas, the tablets. Tablets are connected to the heart level. And he connected it also to evil kinds of loves, bad loves. Loves are things you shouldn't want. Yeah, like ideally. Yeah, we all have them. Yeah, havas ras, unless you're like a tzaddik who's cleaned himself out. But most human beings have these not good loves, and the way they get mebatel is a lot to do with disgrace. It creates disgrace, shame, and that shviras haluchos breaks. Now, what the tzaddik does, puts together the shviras haluchos, a broken heart, puts it together with the complete luchos, with this in the Aron HaKodesh. That was the Daf Yomi this week. Daf Yudalid. It's amazing how it appeared in the same Gemara that we're learning the Likutei Moharan, and it's during Chodesh Tammuz that this happened, that the luchos got broken. Mm-hmm. So in the Daf Yudalid it says over here, "Ein Aron rak shnei luchos avonim asher nicha sham Moshe. Mine ein van rak mi'at achamiat ein mi'at achamiat ela l'rabbis." So Shemanirach ba'Aaron v'nosim Aaron la'ruchos. So he's saying about this whole thing with the luchos, explaining the size of luchos, and then you turn over the daf, I think Daf Yudalid, and it says Asher Shabarta, that you broke them. It says the Tani Rebbe Yosef Asher Shabarta, sometime, and you put them in the Aron Kodesh. Melamed sheluchos Shashura luchos menuchin ba'Aaron. They're both in the Aron. V'idach Hu meBoyelei. That's Reish Lakish. Asher Shabarta Amalei Kodesh Baruch Hu Moshe Yashakocha Sheshabarta, not Yashakoyach. Shekocha. Yeah, that's what Hashem said. Shkoyach is some deformed version of Yashakocha. Said Hashem in the Torah. The climax of the Torah.
That's where it comes from.
Yashakocha, straight and strength to you, that you did the right thing. What? You broke the luchos so that Am Yisrael can get forgiveness, because otherwise it was them or the luchos. So you destroyed the luchos instead, so then we could go through the process of rebuilding again, breaking of the heart, breaking of all these false loves, and rebuilding again through these broken vessels, building again the kalim, the vessels for this light of the Torah, and that's the luchos hashenis, which we're going to get on Yom Kippur, and we're in that process right now in the spiritual calendar. And Min Shamayim, the Daf Yomi is talking about it, Rebbe Nachman is talking about it. I was just learning the Siva Shalom, he was talking about it. Everything's like coming together. Even the Tanya was talking about it. This concept of bringing everything together, and that breaking of the heart is a tremendous part of that process. The idea that we're meant to go through times of difficulty, we're meant to go through times of breakings. So that's where we got to. Now let's go weiter. And remember, we said the Tzaddik is the one who's going to bring it together. And this is what the sages teach us. He brings out the holy Kohanim from this place. You got it? Yeah. B'shvil shahaktim birchas Avram lebirchas hamokim. That we first begin with the blessing of Avram before the blessing of the mokim of Hashem. I suppose the mokim. L'tila misham nisana la'Avram, and he took out from this and gave it to Avram. Shenema ata kohen olam al divarti Melchizedek. This is a famous part in the Chumash in Bereshis where he's talking to Shem, who was named at this point Melchizedek, and Avram Avinu was said that he's going to be a Kohen forever. You will be a Kohen forever, as I said to the Melchizedek. Where did it end up, the Kohen? Going all the way down to who? To Aaron Hakohen, and eventually who? To Pinchas, Aaron Hakohen's grandson, who actually wasn't yet a Kohen until what? Until he did that famous MASHA with Zimri and Cosby. He took the Ramach, he took the spear, we're coming up to Pasha Pinchas in a few weeks. He took the spear and he put it through both of them at the time of doing a serious pagam, a serious blemish. And they were having intimacy, and it was a high, one of the high Nossis, the high princes of the Jewish people, was thinking he could elevate this non-Jewish woman, and it was a mistake on his part, and Pinchas had to take care of it with the spear. But Amar Haineni Nosen Lo, it's Brisi Shalom. And what did he get from that as a reward? He got the Brisi Shalom, which is Kahuna. Ki Kahuna hu Bechinas Ahava, because Kahuna, when you're Kohen, we all have an aspect of Kahuna within us. I'm an actual Kohen, a priest, but there's also the Kahuna of Mamlechas Kohanim, all of Christ are Kohanim. This is Bechinas Ahava, who Avram. It goes back to Avram Avinu, as we just said. He was the original Kohen, the original, you see, OG. Yeah, that's how the world talks. The original gangster. Mm-hmm. So by Jewish people, we're the original Kohanim. That's our OC. Yeah, the original C, the original Chaf Kohen. Shora b'mokim bris shalom. This is the root in the place of bris shalom. Hano Tzaddik shalom. Who's over there by the bris shalom? The covenant of peace. Who would you say is over there?
The Kohen.
The Kohen, the Tzaddick Yisod Olam. Who's the Tzaddick Yisod Olam? We learned this yesterday. Tzaddick Yisod Olam is the foundation. He's the foundation of the world. The world all the chef, all the abundance, all the panasa, all the good, the blessings of the world come through the Tzaddick Yisod Olam. This is a very deep concept, but like the example was Hanina ben Dosa. He said he used to eat a kav, a charov, like a little plant of a charov tree. We have them up in Svat area. When I'd done that walk around there, I've been there for a while, but I went for a really nice walk with Eliezer, that rapper guy, hip hop dude. We went for a walk through those hills, and we took off the charov. The charov is a beautiful fruit that you eat, but you can't really live off it. But Hanina ben Dosa lived off it, as did Ben Shum Bar Yochai, and he lived off it. But it says by him that all the chef of the world came through Hanina ben Dosa, and how much was he getting from that shefa? This little tree with the little charuvim, whatever you call them, he was living off this little plant, and that was all he nannered from this world, and the whole world was getting all the abundance that goes on, all the chef, all the different types of alcohol, different things. And it all came through him, the Tzaddik Yisod Olam. It all came through the kav of the Tzaddik. Understand that this is how it goes, and this is connected to Sfiras Yisod, all to do with the Kedushas Habris. And this is what brings abundance. But the key is to remember, I was just learning this in the Siva Shalom, that we all have an intrinsic connection to Hashem on the deepest levels. It's not just these holy, righteous people. But we all have that within us as well, that nakuda, that point. Just being a Jew, we already intrinsically have it. And especially now, at the end of days, especially when we're tested more than any other generation in all the generations, we all have an automatic connection. And we are part of the generation that we get to do things that no other generation did. We get to travel to places that no other generation did. I'm sure in your own life, you've been to places that no Zayde, Boba, all the way back ever went to. Never had this ability to just get on a plane and end up in these crazy places that you've been to. I mean, you're the kind of guy, you get around. So one of the things you do everywhere you go, when you take a coffee over there, there's coffee beans that never got elevated like that moment when you made that Hakohen in the middle of nowhere. Or you davened mincha in the middle of nowhere, you did a tikkun to that place. There were fallen sparks from the Shrias Hakenim that you brought back. So each Jew in himself has this connection to the Tzaddik Solam, and we have ability to bring everything back to this ruchnius root, this spiritual light that emanates from Hashem and from this idea of being a Kohen and Brisi Shalom and Tzaddik Solam, all these deep concepts. So one of the things Pinchas did was he made like a circumcision on Klal Yisrael, because Klal Yisrael had gone a bit off. We got a bit caught up with, as we say, the goiters.
Mm-hmm.
So because we got caught up with that meant we had like an aura over us. Like we talked about this before, the aura salev. There's a covering of the heart. So Pinchas, when he did that with the romach, with the spear, he removed the covering of the heart of Klal Yisrael, and allowed us to have that relationship with Hashem again, that renewed relationship. There wasn't that blockage anymore. Like when you pray, sometimes you feel connected, sometimes you don't. But the beauty is that by connecting yourself to, say, someone like Pinchas and to this bris kahuna, this bris shalom, it removes that blockage, and now you can connect to Hashem. And that's what Parshas Pinchas, one of the things he's trying to do is remove the blockage at this time of year. Summer days, a lot of judgment in the air, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Some comes along Pinchas and is removing that blockage that's going on in time, in spirituality and amongst the people, and he allows us to bring it back, and he himself becomes part of the kahana, part of that bris shalom, that part of that connection to the Tzaddik Yisod Olam. I'm probably a descendant from Pinchas, because most of the kahanim are. So let's just do a little summary, because it's the end of this Torah. It's a deep concept. There's a lot of tikkunim going on here. You can see there's a lot of explanations. We'll just go straight to the summary. Lev, the heart. This is the Rebbe Isbi. Remember Ava Mordechai Isbi? I mentioned it yesterday. Ava Mordechai Isbi said that the most complicated part of human being is what?
His heart.
Heart. But what's the most powerful place in terms of what Hashem wants?
His heart.
Here, Rahman al-Liba, he wants the heart. The brain, Baruch Hashem, YITZCHAK, most of us are able to think through things pretty good. You see how good Jews are in business and science and this and that, all the Nobel Peace Prizes, etc., top in high tech. That's not our problem. Brain power we got. The challenge is what to do with the heart level. That's where we have a lot of the avoda, what we're here for. Now, you break the heart, says Rebbe Nachman, because of what? Because of the disgrace of sin. And you're able to fix that. How do you fix up the heart? By connecting it to the nakuda that's connected to that person at that time. So what's the nakuda? So we said the tzaddik is a nakuda. There's a panemius, nakuda panemius, a point inside of you that's good. You have to learn how to connect into that self-awareness, that inner Ari, that inner Eli. Tzaddik hu ba'al mamshala, and also to connect to the tzaddik. Like for Breslov, it would be Rebbe Nachman. Chabadnik would be Menachem Schneerson. Yeah, everyone is each person according to the Shosh Hashem, which tzaddik they connect to. Yeah, like there's so many rebbes, so many people here. Some people in the shul they connect to Shlomo Katz or his rebbe, Shlomo Kalibach, or whoever it is. Or Rav Ginsburg. Tzaddik hu ba'al mamshala gam klape Hashem Yisbarach. And the tzaddik is the master of Mamshala, also according to Hashem Yisbarach. Now this was a powerful point. How does a tzaddik, a righteous person, become the master of Hashem? Tzaddik goes there, Kosh Baruch B'chaim. It's a famous concept in Shas, because he gets to the point where he's able to make decrees with his mouth that Hashem has to do. It's almost like the Force in Star Wars. What happens? The guy with the Force is able to start to maneuver everything starts going according to his will. Why? Because he's aligned with the Force, with the Ratzon of Hashem. He's aligned with the Force, and then everything maneuvers according to him. It's a deep concept.
So you said that you could be the master of Hashem?
Tzaddik is able to. It says here, Kiviyochu, you have to say as if. Obviously you can't, but it's as if.
Well, it's kind of like how you would ask a tzaddik to daven.
Yeah.
Clearly Hashem had different plans to some extent.
And through connected to the tzaddik.
But the tzaddik daven kind of became the master.
Excellent. And it's mevatel gezerosov, and the tzaddik's able to get rid of the gezeres. Yeah? Like the tzaddikim are right now fighting hard to get rid of the gezeres on Christ, so that these bochrim, these soldiers, should not be chas v'shalom killed in war. They needed a lot of tefillahs, a lot of rachamim, a lot of schusim, a lot of shmirah, and we have to keep asking them. I keep asking them. That whole story that happened on the building next to my son, and I've seen the videos now. What happened with my son, and like it's crazy footage. I've been watching the DJI footage for my son. There's what happened in Zya, and it was crazy. The sound, the balagan, the fighting going on, the shouting, the whole situation is crazy. The shooting, and at that moment, it could have been his building. It could have been the terrorists came to them. It could have been when he was running to the building, which was filled with terrorists, and he was told to go to the building next door.
PG.
Oh, that's true. So it was very scary, like the whole thing. If you think about it, like we're watching, my wife and I, and we're just like, oh my gosh, we were like getting ready for Shabbos, and he was running towards a building with terrorists opposite him and dealing with that. Yeah, like it's crazy. They throw smoke bombs. They do what they can. The Shtadlis wise, they have drones. They do everything they can. But this place, fortunately, they found tunnels. This place is still filled with them. So that moment, the tzaddik is davening and mavatel the gezerah sov, so that my son can get through that and come home. Tachlis shotenu shel tzaddik yireh Elokim, and the tachlis of the ability of the tzaddik to be able to rule over the reality is through fear of Hashem. Misham kach alav hishtamesh b'msholim k'dei lo'era etz kol sevivav liyiras Hashem. And that's what tzaddik does. He arouses around him everyone to come to connect to Hashem, to have more of a relationship with Hashem, a more real relationship with Hashem. Now the koch of the tzaddik, he's able to rule and awaken to the hearts that's hidden inside of all us. Not only that, he has a clear vessel of abundance that's by him, that's fixed up. The piv, what's his kli shefa? What's the vessel that brings all the shefa? The mouth. Piv, male shefa elokai. The mouth is able to bring down, fill up the shefa, divine godly abundance. So like you say, you go to the tzaddik, he gives you a blessing.
How do you spell shefa?
Shefa is shin, pei, ayin.
Abundance. But it sounds kind of like, it sounds almost like peh is in shefa.
Shepa, I hear that.
Almost.
Yeah, no, that's a very Chassidish way of saying it. But the point is, the bottom line is that the pesheya becomes shefa, yeah? The one that's stumbling becomes the shefa, because it's connected to the tzaddik. He gets everything the right way around. Malufam, the way the Rebbe Nachman is talking about this concept of malufam, this whole union of the yud and the vav. The yud is the tzaddik, the vav is the heart. The Yud is the mouth, the heart, the Vav is the Luchas. He gives this whole explanation. We had this at the beginning of the Torah. Benafsha shel kol Yehudi kaimes b'chinas tzaddik. And the nefesh, the soul of every Jew, is established what? In the aspect of the tzaddik. Shemekach nasa gam bar mamshala b'divura hein klapi Hashem yisbarach kivyochu. Hein klapi zeloso la'oira liyira shamayim. Hashem is waking us up to yira shamayim for the tzaddik. Ofen amiyuchad lo. The way that's exactly needed for Ari, the way that's exactly needed for Eli, is it for everyone else in Shirat David and the whole world. He's using the exact right tools and message to awaken you. And I have to say that that's always happened with me. When learning Torahs of a tzaddik, always fits exactly what I need to learn at that moment. And when you go speak to a tzaddik, he always says what you need to hear at that moment. It's very important to have that in mind. Medregas a tzaddik, mulufam, mechavas ma'avav, that's the hamshacha miyud, the nakuda. So the vav brings down, and where's it coming from? The yud, the tzaddik. The vav is a connection point. It's bringing down, it's drawing down. Where from? The tzaddik, from the yud. Hachma v'bina, and we had that whole Torah about that. Mechaberes yud v'vav. By joining together the yud and the vav, the tzaddik and the nation, mizgale b'fanim shonim, v'chales b'pratis. It's revealed in all different ways, in the klal, in all the generalities of the people, and the details. And when you go through disgrace, which we all do at some point in life, this breaks the heart of the person. And it's taking out the fallen kindness and the strange loves. What would be like avazaris, like porn and stuff like that, God forbid. Looking at things we shouldn't. That would be the fallen loves. Taking the love that husband and wife are supposed to have and taking it to a fallen place. And the tzaddik is able to take out of there those fallen loves, those fallen ways of expressing love. The way we see it is through bad desires, v'huri avera, and bad thoughts. Tikuna hi kasher adam mikashes liba, and the fixing of it is that when a person connects to his heart, vav, and akudas yud, and he connects it back to the tzaddik. The person connects his heart back to tzaddik, back to the esadibus, back to the pnimis. B'chinas tzaddik hamoed it's a or chesed b'hava hakadoshim, and that's the aspect of the tzaddik that lights up the light of kindness and love for holiness, for good things, for like chesed and for Torah, for tefillah. That's the kind of energy a tzaddik awakens you to all those good things.
And that's why we're supposed to connect to tzaddikim.
Yeah, the tzaddik is why it's so important to learn the Svarim of tzaddikim. We just learned a beautiful Torah from Rebbe Nachman, and it fits exactly the Fiyaz Man. We learn a Gemara in Baba Basra that's talking about this. We learn, you said you learned Tanya today. I learned some Nesiv Shalom, I learned some Kisah Shulchan Aruch about Shemon Esrei. These are all things that are helping us that connect to the tzaddik, because the tzaddik's filled in all these Torahs. Who wrote these Torahs? Who wrote the Shulchan Aruch? The Ramah, Moshe Isserles was a tzaddik. The Beis Yosef was a tzaddik. The one who made the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch probably was a tzaddik. And all the other Svarim books are all people who worked on themselves to become holy, and they gave us all the tools for that. When we're in such a generation, 2024, 5784, and we're in such a generation, if it's the Mashiach there, end of days, we have all that Torah and all that merit and all that schussim to help us elevate the end of days. And that's what we have, that power, because we're everywhere. I'm so able to be everywhere now. We're all around the world. Chabad is everywhere. We're everywhere. We're able to elevate, bring Kedushas of Am Yisrael to the whole world, and elevate the whole world back to Hashem. That's it.
Did you hear what?
Yes, we just